Hello, beautiful people. I don't know who's in the room with us, but happy Friday. Is it hot where you're at? Because it's hot where I'm at, child. It is so hot. But I'm trying not to complain because, these are days that we prayed for. Hope you're having a great start of the weekend. Leah left a comment saying, "This is why I love you so much. Such an incredible video idea. I've been heavily following both of these stories, and OMG, there's so many connections here. I'm too excited to hear your opinions. Listen." So I've been following both stories as well, Daina and Daina. That's gonna be a tongue twister, but yeah. Before I go into actually explaining, I'm gonna wait for some people to enter the room. Hello, Ladoya. I can confidently say I've never heard that name before. Very unique, very beautiful. Oh, I said it right. Great. Yeah, how y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today? Hi, Lady Belle. Hey, Kristen, Susanna. Ooh, we about to have a time, y'all. We about to have a time. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to do some configuration things on my end. Just give me 1 second. I think I have everything really well set today. You guys let me know what the connection and the sound is looking like and sounding like. Because if we gotta shut something down, I'd rather do it now. I say hi. Let's talk about it. These women's been going through. They've been going through it, Christina. They've been going through it. Hi, Sylvia. Hey, Vanessa. Yeah. So just a quick rundown of both of these stories. So Daina, if you do, I don't, at this point, I don't even know how you don't know. If you don't know, you're deliberately trying not to know. Daina is current wife of Derek Jackson, who is a social media relationship specialist, I guess you could say. And essentially, all the things, let me not say all, a good majority of the things that he was saying online turned out to not be true in his personal life. It came out that he is a serial cheater. Hi, Shamiso. A serial cheater. And Daina has now decided to speak out post the announcement of them getting divorced. Mind you, the divorce was on Derek's terms. She then counterfiled. I think he filed under irreconcilable differences, and then she counterfiled under infidelity. Then with the Daina story, if you do not know, this one's a little bit more heavy on the cereal. This one's a little bit more obscure for people who are not actually fans of Daina. Listen, I've been a fan of Daina for a really long time. Okay. She is a social media content creator, and she really kicked off her career on a show called Don't Tell the Bride or something like that. That's in the UK. And her fiance at the time were on it. She then decided to create an online presence and got really, really popular. She does music as well. But essentially, a similar story. Her husband turned out to be a serial cheater, and now, post filing of divorce, she's choosing to speak out. And I wanted to talk about these two stories. Well, I wanted to let them marinate, first of all, because I was like, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon as soon as you hear something, because there's often more to the story. And baby, more has been revealed. So essentially, both of the women are coming out and saying that their husbands have been cheating on them for years and years and years. And they are tired of the infidelity. Now, when you hear their stories, when you listen for real, their husbands were doing that even before they got married. So I wanted to kind of have a conversation of, when do you leave? Oftentimes there's this perception of marriage that's through thick and thin, you got to work through it all and whatever. At some point, the thick is too thick, honey. At some point, the thick is too thick, and you got to exit stage left. You got to leave that relationship. And I think both of these women stayed a hell of a lot longer than they needed to. a hell of a lot longer. So with Daina, let me talk about Daina because I feel like it's not going to take as long as the Daina situation. With Daina, she said that at a very young age is when she met, maybe not like very young, I think she was like 16, 17, something like that. She met her husband. Hey, Cleopatra. She met her husband, and at that time, I suspect they both stayed for optics. Optics are a part of it, but also finances, and we're going to get into it. So, essentially, both women had been, like, what's the word? They lacked experience when it came to their husbands. So they were like the first of, their husbands were the first for them, something like that. It's kind of murky or whatever. I think Daina's first serious relationship was Amit, and Daena's first serious relationship, no, I think it was second serious relationship, was Derek Jackson. And they both had this conflict of feeling like the ugly duckling kind of thing. So they were affirmed in that way. And I think that part plays a big role into why these women stayed, because Amit and Derek, regardless of how trash their actions are, objectively they are attractive men, conventionally at the least, right? So it's not surprising that somebody would be flattered that somebody like them would be like, yo, you're the one for me. Something's wrong with the sound. Oh no. Should I bring the mic closer to my mouth? Is it better now? Somebody let me know. Oh, it's hot, you guys. It is so hot. But yeah, let me know if the sound is better. Like, what's her name's mother on The One? Different issue, but it's so prevalent. Yeah, literally, yeah. The feed keeps buffering. Okay, maybe we gotta change the connection. Give me a second, y'all. Are we better, guys? Expedia, all your trip. The sound is fine, but the feed is laggy. Okay. Okay, it looks good on my phone. All right. Essentially, both of the women have... Okay, so we're good. Essentially, both of the women have this thing of like, wow, this attractive guy... Ladies, we gotta know our worth. Goodness me. This attractive guy really wants me. You know, what an honor. Obviously not with those words, but, you know, we're just saying that for now. And hearing their stories of what they put up with in the dating portion, I'm thinking to myself, what convicted you to then want to marry this person? For Derek and Daina, I think what really pushed Derek to want to marry Daina is the fact that she fell pregnant. And she said, if ever I'm with child, I'm up out of here if you're not going to be committed to me. With Daina, I'm not quite sure what was the reason. But essentially, they entered these marriages with cheating already being present, right? And so now when there is this long list of infidelities and the women are saying, you know, I was put through A, B, C, and D, without trying to victim blame, and I know a part of it is going to come across like this, I wonder, so why stay for so long, especially knowing that these men were like this? So I just want to know y'all's opinions on both situations. And then we're going to talk about the Daina charging people money and stuff. I don't even know what that's about. But yeah, I'm just like, if you know that this man is just this horrible person, why did you stay? Because personally, I feel like the money for both women came after. And financial security does help a lot. And in Daina's situation, she actually was making more money than her husband. And at one point, she was fully financing their life, right? with Daina, she wasn't the primary breadwinner. She was a stay-at-home mom. However, she did help with the business aspect of things. So, I don't know if Derek was breaking her off something on the side, but they obviously had means of making their own revenue. So it can't only be money. It can't only be status. To me, it kind of feels like we, let me not say we because I ain't in this group, but a lot of people have been primed to believe that marriage is the ultimate goal in life, right? And so when you are finally in it, you tend to put up with a whole bunch of BS for the sake of, but I married though. And it was very prevalent with Daina because she's like, but he chose me. Out of all the women that he was sleeping around with, I was the one who won at the end. And it's like, did you really win? Because he was still messing around with all these women. And at the end of the day, I think they won because they didn't have to deal with that man. They could go, get their back broke, and then leave. There is a lack of esteem there. They didn't believe they deserved more than the nothing these men were offering. And it's sad. Yeah. Very sad. Let me put up these comments so y'all can see. Yeah. Hey, Ludwin. Daina had very low self-esteem, and she was thinking about how she married the guy everybody wanted. 1000%. 1000%. And like, at the end of the day, what does that do for you? Okay, he's very desirable. Okay, you won out, allegedly, over everybody. Now what? You're in this marriage where you feel like there's nothing that you can do to stop this man from seeking companionship elsewhere. And then you almost have like this inflated ego whenever he comes back to you because at least he knows where home is. Go sleep on the street. What you mean? Oh, go sleep on the street. It could not be me. Miss J seems to be a mastermind behind the narcissist. Oh, Mrs. Jackson. Okay, yeah. She's now rebranding herself. Yup, she is. She is. And honestly, they're both rebranding themselves. So with Daina, the way that I found her was through the couples videos. And she does say this thing where she was upset at her husband for saying the channel only gets views when I'm on it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes those would be the only videos that I would watch, like if it was the two of them. So now, post filing for divorce, she's like, let me tell you about this man. Let me tell you about the journey that I'm on. Let me tell you about all this stuff. And some people are starting to say, okay, but in your story, he was cheating before the marriage. He was cheating during the engagement. He was cheating currently in the marriage. So it's like, at what point is it like he was doing all these crazy things to you? Or, like people are still trying to rack their brains around that. This is the result of women who don't see themselves as the prize in the relationship. She is working for him. Are you talking about Daina? Because Daina is an interesting one as well. I was watching a little bit of Simone's video. I don't know if if everybody in the chat knows her, but essentially she's an alum of a reality TV show, and she is a lawyer, and she's breaking down this whole case with Daina and her husband. And essentially, because Daina was a willing participant, as she said in the interview with Dear Future Wifey, her filing under, y'all, it is hot. Her filing under infidelity might not stick because this is behavior that he was doing prior to and throughout the marriage. And on top of that, you admitted online that you knew and essentially you were okay with it, right? If anyone ever says, as long as I know, every time I go live, this motorcyclist wants to do the most. If anyone ever says, as long as I know where home is, something is not secure in the relationship and looking elsewhere, 1000%. 1000%. Because why? I personally would not take pride in that. As long as he knows where home is. Why is he even outside the home to begin with? Why are there other homes to be explored just for you to return back to me? And then I'm like, oh, at least he came home. I don't give a damn. Stay out there. Sleep in the streets. So now Ms. Daina, who has been working on the back end for Derek Jackson for his entire career, basically. And a clarification, because some people have been saying, like, Derek deliberately did not say that he was married. Deliberately put himself out there as somebody who wasn't married. He just wouldn't make it, like, the first thing that you would see, but he would talk about her. And he had books about her. I think his highest selling book is about his marriage. So he's not shy about talking about her, right? What we didn't know is Daina was working behind the scenes and, helping doing the admin work for all that he was doing, the tours, the speaking engagements, all that, whatever, hiring staff, firing staff. And now she's doing this healing course. It's a hell of a lot of money. I don't know what it is in total in US dollars, but I know it is too much. Even if it was $5, to me, that's too much. Because number one, I don't think you were in a space to coach women how to leave a situation that you yourself have not quite left yet. And I also wonder, if Derek hadn't filed, would she even be on here telling us about all of this? I feel like she would have stayed. Personally, I feel like she would have stayed. So now she's here charging astronomical numbers for this healing course, which she did say she does have other licensed professionals to join this program that she has going on. But I'm like, this is the same thing your husband does. You're preying on people who are looking to you as a source of, self-help and whatever, and can I even say extorting? No, not really. Exploiting. You're exploiting them. You are exploiting them. For me, with all respect, I feel like Daina is at the point dragging this out for me, to be honest, especially like you said, she was aware in every stage of the relationship. I think she had gotten to the point where she was going to not talk about it as much anymore. But then Amit made a video, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, essentially saying that everything Daina was saying was a lie. So she said, oh yeah? I'm gonna keep going. He also then tried to delete like a good chunk of her high paying videos on her channel, which got her upset. These courses are quick money grab, in my opinion. She's not healed enough to be giving anybody advice. Listen, she's absolutely trying to secure the bag. She 100% would have stayed and continued gaslighting and insulting people for speaking the truth. Yeah, he was deleting videos. Yeah, so I'm just like, my heart goes out to these women because marriage is hard. Marriage is absolutely hard. And infidelity is something that is tough to deal with, even if you know that it's happening. The part that is really hard for me to grasp, though, is the fact that it happened even prior to marriage. And respectfully, the vows you took were almost accepting that. You know what I mean? Like, before marriage, it's basically saying, as you are, I love you and I want this and I want us to be committed for a lifetime. Them niggas was cheating at that time. What are we committing to? There is no piece of paper that's going to make that man stop doing what he was doing prior to. So I'm just like, I missed your comment. What did you say? What did you say? I missed it. Oh, this one? Aw. I love being live with y'all. Jesse was said it, but I agree. Pay for a therapist. Don't buy this woman's course. I listen, a therapist would be 1000% more of a better option because number one, they're licensed. Number two, it's cheaper. Number three, they can actually help you out of that situation because Daina is in it. There is no pen to those divorce papers. There is no pen. There's no ink to dry. She's in it now. Who's to say they ain't in cahoots? Child, conspiracy. Y'all know I love a conspiracy. For $7,000 is wild though. Mind you, we will all... We all doing the healing and advice giving for free. Oh, She 1000% would have stayed, especially after trying to curse people in that video, and still feels like she was right in doing so. Yep. Do you guys remember when Derek had this lady crazy on the internet insulting people as if they were the ones causing the troubles? And that's the part that made me sad too. So I was raised strictly religious as well. Not as strict as her, but strict. And so there is this perception that when bad things happen to you, it is always the devil. Well, sweetie, if it's the devil, your husband is Lucifer. Like, I think that there's a difference between spiritual warfare and a person deliberately choosing to cause chaos in your life. And that there were spiritual attacks happening to her family. I believe that. I also believe that your husband is trash and he didn't want to be a good husband. So you can't attribute all of his behavior to this is the work of the enemy. Your husband is the enemy. It's your husband. You're laying beside the enemy. What? Oh my goodness. It came out all recently, and she does have a license. She does have licensed therapist in that course. Yeah. I said that as well. She does have some certified people. I'm looking at Mrs. Jackson sideways. The cahoots. You guys think they're in the cahoots too? Oh my goodness. Do you think the 3 therapists that she said has all the Christian base? I can't read today, guys. Do you think the 3 therapists she said she has are all Christian-based therapists? Knowing how she speaks online, I would be shocked if she didn't reach out to Christian-based therapists. But even still, at the end of the day, I don't think, I do not care. I don't think that this course is something that she should do. And the optics are not great. It's funny because the women seemingly stayed with these men for the optics. You don't want to make it seem like, oh my gosh, I went through all this foolishness with this person just for it not to work out. Like, it seems like my efforts were in vain. Let me just stay for as long as I can. But now they're both doing a similar thing in terms of how can I turn my pain into profit, as Daina would like to say. And it's like, well, I don't know. Side eye. I 1000% think that she has Christian-based therapists, and I still don't think that it'd be worth $7,000 or whatever the price is. Frankly, there's an attack on a good man and being with an awful man. Exactly. Sometimes the attack comes from the people in your house. Hello? She out here focused on cursing the people that I'm on the internet. Curse your husband. Curse that enemy. He's the one actively adding chaos into your life. Sis, I mean, you don't got to be going around cursing people, but if you are going to curse somebody, that should be the one you focus on. I think a lot of these women stay because they're afraid to start over. People are so scared to start over and learn how to be alone and date other people, so they'd rather stay in these relationships. I definitely think there's a part of that. And it's sad because both of the women are fairly young. I think Daina is early or mid-30s. Same with Daina. And so it's like, sweetie, you've got so much life ahead of you. And the man that you're with does not add to the worth that you have. You are worthy sans husband. You do not need him. If anything, you will flourish in the absence of him. In the absence of these kind of husbands, you know? Like, it's very sad. It's very sad to watch. There were spiritual attacks happening because her husband was not a protector. There were doors open that she welcomed, if not encouraged, the madness. Hello? I think it's great Daina is profiting now. She's making her own content and not charging the public to profit off us. We get entertained through her videos and she gets paid. This is true. There is a difference where she is not actually charging people. And if you choose to watch her videos, the great thing about being a YouTuber is that we do benefit off of the views. So yes, there is that difference. I kind of agree with somebody earlier who said they feel like she's dragging it just a little bit now. I think however you want to heal, however you tell your story, that is your business. I do think though that like now it's turned into an online beef. Like Ahmed just put out a video. It was like an hour long or something. She's like, oh, I'm going to bring receipts. And apparently he was preying on young girls and all. I'm like, whoo, mercy. This is a lot. Now Safari. From Miss Jackson's story, you can tell a lot of why she stayed was clear in the storyline. Yeah, it was that security and also insecurity, that financial security, the marriage security, and the insecurity within the self. So, a lot of reasons. And for the kids, literally, why they got together was for the kids. Why they got married, I mean. As a man who's never been in a relationship, I'll never understand what clicks in these guys' heads. That their women and you is lacking something that the two of you can work on and end up breaking up the home. I kind of have to give. Ooh, do I want to say that? Hold on. I was going to say I want to give Derek Jackson some grace, but I don't think that's the words that I want to use. What I'm trying to say is that in his defense, which essentially is the same thing, he tried to leave. He tried to leave. But today it did this whole elaborate plan of, well, let me make you jealous and let me make you feel how I felt. And he obviously was slinging that thing around to anybody and everybody. And she decided to be a part of the roster. You know, she talked about passing the women up and down the stairs. And it's only the pregnancy that then forced them to get married. Also, don't do that, y'all. Don't do that. There are so many resources today. If you don't have family, there are a lot of resources. I don't know what it's like in the States, but there are a lot of resources here where if you got to go it alone, it might be better than going with that evil man. Pray for them babies for real. What kills me is that church and spiritual logic of you got to stay in a marriage no matter what, when cheating is literally the one thing you can leave for. That's what I thought too. But in my church, they spoke about it a little bit differently. They were like, well, infidelity, not necessarily. And I'm like, let me tell you one thing. There are many things that could cause me to end this. Gambling away our savings. Abusing my children or myself. Obviously, infidelity. And you know, I don't want to make it seem as if women are at fault if they stayed after infidelity. I think that it then becomes an issue when the infidelity is just so frequent like this. And it's a pattern that is obviously going to continue. You gotta leave. You gotta leave, or at least accept this new reality. Because child, what are we still here for? What are we still here for? Also when and how they got together in college. Yep, they both women got with their husbands young. It's sad. But yeah, I would like to pose a question to you guys of, if you were these women, say for whatever reason, you got down the aisle, whatever, when would you leave? What would it take for you to leave? Same, I've always said, sorry, God, we're going to have to be, hello? We're going to have to be in beef about this one because I will not stay to my detriment. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. How my marriage pans out is very like pivotal in how my life pans out. You know what I mean? Potentially, let's talk about Daina. Potentially, she might be stuck in a rut for a long time because she was fully dependent on this man financially. And now that they're parting ways, she might be stuck. I hope she won't be, but she might be. So the way that her marriage panned out, the person that she picked and the actions that he had now very adversely affect her day-to-day life for her and her kids. God forbid. God forbid. No shade, right when the cheating was prevalent. So at the beginning, okay. Did she just assume that the Lord was going to protect her from the possible STDs? 100 women is insane. I also thought about that too. I was like, he put your body at risk. He put your health at risk. Well, you put your, because she knew. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, the conversation gets a little bit cloudy when you take in the fact that both women knew prior to marriage, during marriage, and they probably will continue this behavior after marriage. They knew. I don't know, probably having a kid and then realizing I deserve better would make me do something. When I start questioning things and the things start to become inconsistent, at that point, I don't trust him. Yeah, I love that answer. Broken trust. Two, that's another reason why I would leave. It doesn't have to be infidelity, it doesn't have to be severe financial strife. If I cannot put my trust in you as my life partner, what are we doing? Why are we here? Soul ties are real, at least to me. And being tied to somebody like Derek, never. Oof. Yep, 100. Just a bunch of dirty eggplants. Yes, Chloe. Hey, Chloe Johnson. Willing participants. Both admitted to that. Both admitted to be willing participants. So that's where my empathy is a little bit like, just like, okay, well, if you knew, then I don't know. He was pulling that mess before he was married, and they still married. 1000%. 1000%. Me personally, I don't know if I can use me personally, because even when I was young, I always had this mentality of, if this relationship doesn't serve me, I don't see the point in being in it. That's why I had never fooled around when I was young. I was like, I can't sustain a relationship. I'd be wasting your time and you'd be wasting mine. Like, let me just wait until I mature. I get my life together. Still trying to get my life together before I engage with people. So I don't think I'm the best example, but let's say I was a young girl in a situation with somebody who was this manipulator and all that stuff. I would reach out to my circle. Hopefully a circle outside of their immediate circle, because it seems like maybe not enough people were saying, hey, this is not it. But I'd reach out to the community. This is what I'm going through. How am I supposed to handle this situation? And I feel like I would want to prime myself to hear it enough times, because at least one person's going to tell you to leave that man. Maybe another person's going to tell you too. And maybe another person. And when you start to see a pattern of people saying you should leave that man, I got to start questioning myself. So what am I staying for? How does this relationship actually benefit me? Because there's infidelity. There's financial insecurity. Daina doesn't have kids with her ex-husband, but Daina does. There are children now involved. How does this relationship serve me? And I'm pretty sure if both of these women were to write down a list, there would be a lot more cons than there would be pros. Sweetie, go. That's when you gotta go. You gotta leave. You gotta run. Cut the ties. Soul ties or otherwise, cut them. Cut them all. Oh, I mean, cahoots, no shade, because this doesn't make no sense. In the case of Ahmed, it annoyed me to a degree that even though mental health is important, he used his Yes! He uses depression as an excuse to trap Daina while continuing to be potentially unfaithful. Yeah, so if you don't know the story, Ahmed was a boxer or something like that, was making good money. That was their primary source of income. He got an injury and they relied on Daina financially. So eventually he got very depressed because his career was derailed. And so he is alleging that that is what led him to then be unfaithful. He couldn't find self-worth in himself, so he was seeking, attention from women who were not his wife. And he did use that oftentimes. Like, how could you want to leave me when I'm at my lowest? How could you want to leave me when I'm trying to get back on my feet? I'm trying to get my life back together. And I'm like, oh my God, that is sick. That is sick. If you have a group of healthy people around you, it's easier. I was in a crappy relationship for years and my friends and family encouraged me to stay. And that's why I was saying I have a feeling they would have to reach just a little bit farther outside from their inner circle, because the assumption is that if they stayed for so long, the people in the inner circle must have known something and to a degree co-signed staying in these relationships. So, man, I'm really sad to hear that, SM. I'm glad that that is a past relationship now. And yeah. Ooh. I don't know if you saw Queen E, but Ahmed released a video in the last few days basically blaming Daina, stating that if he cheated twice and took him back both times, then how is this his fault for still cheating? Yep, I saw the video. He also said If she is speaking kindly of me, there's no way that I abused her. What kind of victim is going to say, I wish you well, is going to say, I will support you if you need it, da da da? Damn near every victim of abuse. Not everybody, but a lot of people who have been abused have this, like, that is a literal trauma bond where it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, you abuse the person, but for some reason they have this sense of loyalty because for a long time you were the only thing in their life. So what do you mean no victim is going to actually speak well on their abuser? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Oh, he shouldn't have put that video out because it was very unbecoming. I've never been in a relationship, and God forbid I get to this. But I think for me, it would be when I start questioning myself in the relationship, like if I'm good enough and things like that. Yeah. And this is why we need a really good circle to affirm us. If you cannot find that affirmation for yourself, like we like to say, oh, this person is so insecure, like da 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 da. Maybe within themselves, they genuinely cannot find those ways to affirm themselves. So you want to have a circle of people who speaks life into you, who constantly shows you you are worth more than this. You are a precious jewel, honey. You do not need to be going through all of this. And so you start to think, well, I would like for my partner to treat me better than the people around me who are affirming me. And clearly he doesn't do that. Or me personally, I want my partner to treat me better than I treat myself. And I treat myself pretty damn good. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, Dahlia. I protected and defended my abusers for years. You see? Ugh, I hate that he said that. I'm like, that's literally, it happened all the time. Let me read the super chat first. It seems as though nothing would have made Daina leave, even the negative thoughts about her daughter. At least Daina left after adopting her niece. Yeah. I protected and defended my abuser for years. I essentially idolized that man and refused to even entertain the idea that he was using me. I thank God he sent loving relatives who helped me see the truth. We all thank God. We all thank God, because that is very sad. I'm so glad that you're on the other side of it. Please tell me that they dragged Ahmed in the comments. I didn't even check the comments. I should have. Why didn't I do that? Child, I try to stay out the comments on my own. Videos, so maybe that's why. Chloe said, treat me like I treat me. Hello? Assuming that you treat yourself well, your partner should at the very least treat you how you treat yourself. At the very least. But for me, you got to treat me better. For me, you got to treat me better. But yeah, I really didn't have any like big polarizing opinions. I just kind of wanted to talk about how I've been watching both stories and they've both kind of made me sad. I'm a little bit less sad after hearing Dadea's course thing that she has going on. I'm like, now girl, assuming that other people are in the situation that you were in, why would your first thing to be to charge them for something so astronomical? Fine. If you want to make a profit, because literally the slogan is profit from pain, 500, I could even shoot for 1,000 just because she has gained some kind of status being tied to her husband and also now having a social media presence. Like, okay, you could finesse the 1,000, but 5,000 to 7,000, that's a lot of people's rent for the first half of the year. Whoa. Well, not anymore with inflation, but whoa. That's not right. I don't feel like that's right. And if you also take in context what she was going through in her own relationship, I literally was about to say that, Sam. In the context of her own relationship, she was a stay-at-home mother, fully reliant on Derek for the finances. If she was looking at a course like this, could she afford it? Could she afford the resources that she's trying to provide for other women who are in similar, if not the same situation as she is? 1000% she's delusional for that price. Like, excuse me? Watching Danae's interview, I got the distinct impression that she was dissociating. She very clearly stated that the motorcycle's throwing me off. She very clearly is this the Fast and the Furious? She very clearly stated what happened, but never talked about her feelings. Neck down, dead. Still has still healing. She's still healing. Yeah. Yeah. I almost was watching like, why is she being so tender with the story? So tender. And I wonder too how the divorce proceedings are going to go now that she put it out there that, hey, I knew it was happening. I accepted this reality. It is what it is. I didn't even file for divorce. He did. Technically, that means she would have. Does that mean she would have stayed? We assume that she would have stayed if he didn't say anything. And also, apparently, they filed for divorce multiple times. This isn't even the first time. So I'm just like, I don't think this helps your case, sweetie. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope she takes him for half or more. I do. And that's not even because of anything that he did. I mean, it's partly because of stuff that he did, but it's also because a lot of people look down on like the stay-at-home mom, and it's like, no, I was holding down the household. I am 50%, if not more, owed. In what world is this acceptable? In what world is this acceptable? It is so friggin' loud. I'm owed to have. I was holding down the household. And worse, the streets are calling me. And even worse, she was working his business on the back end. Like, she added to this wealth, allegedly, that he has, because Simone alleges that he ain't got no equity. He ain't got no property. He ain't got no assets. So I live in Texas. She's going to get screwed unless she can prove infidelity and that she had a reason to believe that he would stop once married. There's a cap on child support. Derek is no fool. If they did multiple, I think you mean like if they filed multiple times, I want to know who did it, because if she didn't prove the opinion that she would have stayed, I think the first time she filed, because there was a period where she left for like 8 months or something like that. So I think maybe the first time she filed. I don't know. I'd have to watch that interview and I don't want to. She would have stayed. She said she told him she forgave him for everything, and then he asked her for the divorce. Well, there you go. She would have stayed. I need both these women to have amazing, supportive people in their life. Not saying that they don't. Maybe let's add to the numbers if there are people there. Because this got to be the last. This first husband and his behavior better be the last person you engage with this kind of behavior, because God forbid they repeat this cycle, especially for Daina, who seems like she could still potentially be in the trenches. Who's to say she's really unpacked the reasons as to why she was drawn to somebody like Derek and could be repeating the pattern if she were to seek companionship again, Yeah, man, this story's a doozy, y'all. This story's a doozy. These women probably need money to get out. Yeah, rent, divorce. Yeah. That's it, y'all. I'm gonna be here for like 15 more minutes. I always say it could never be me, but I say that as somebody who's now in their late 20s. But if I was late teens, would I have been caught up? Maybe. That's where I give the women a lot of grace. They were young. They were young, potentially impressionable. It happens. It definitely happens. You guys have any other thoughts, comments, and concerns about these situations? What do you think should happen next? Obviously, divorce. Yes. But I'm just like, Daina, I think the optics aren't good with this. Honestly, I think what would have been better, a better move potentially, would have been a GoFundMe. You guys let me know if I'm tripping, but I think a GoFundMe would have been a better course of action for Daina, because that would be the people of the world having heard your story, wanting to be like, you know what, we got to get this woman out of this situation. And it's a free will offering. It doesn't seem like it's exploitive. Maybe a GoFundMe would have been the better route if the point of charging so much money is to get out of the situation. Now, if she genuinely feels like this course is going to help people and that she should be at the helm, then, well, that's a different topic for a different day. I would love to be a stay-at-home mom, but I would need ironclad financial protection first. I want my name on the home. Yes. A car and life insurance first, and a little tuckaway account. Yes. A tuckaway account just in case. Yes. I'm with you, Dahlia. 1,000%. 1,000%. I need all of that security. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with my finances, especially if I'm taking time out of accruing more money to hold down the fort. I need that security. GoFundMe would have got her more empathy. The course feel like she's trying to take people for idiot. Yeah. It 1,000% would have garnered her more empathy. Even people who don't even know who Daina is have found this interview and have really, like, just bled out for her. Like, so many videos, so many podcasts I saw, like, oh my gosh, Daina, we're so sorry. Oh my gosh, Daina, you deserve better. You did. And she was so close. And then she put that thing down, flipped it, and reversed it, honey. Reversed it. She should have waited until the divorce was finalized and then did a course, but sliced those prices significantly. That too. If this situation happens to you, God forbid, do you think you would expose the situation online like they did? Yeah, probably. Only because I've always been very open about my personal life. I don't know about whether I would talk about my actual relationship. So it depends. If my relationship was a part of my content, then you kind of feel like you have to address it. But yeah, my personal life, I've been very open. You guys know, well, I don't know how long you've been here for, the people in this chat right now. But if you've been here from like the beginning, there are things that the internet knew before my own family. Just because I felt comfortable. It feels like an outlet, honestly. When you are a content creator, creating content feels like an outlet. Oh, not the rain, Chad. I need to cover my car. I think her pride got in the way. She would rather work than ask for help. That's valid, though. I would definitely expose that man like that. LOL. Other women need to see the Yelp reviews. Whew. Speaking of the Yelp reviews, she was studying those sex tapes. I think it's a thing ingrained in Black women to not ask for help, be strong, and work through it. Listen, the last live I did about Derek Jackson, I was saying the same thing. The strong Black women trope, quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I don't see it as a compliment in the way that it was initially supposed to be. I think it has changed, and it has made us to be long suffering, to put up with the BS, to firm it, Just firm it. You're going to be fine. You're going to see it through. Like, no, no, protect me. As my husband, protect me. Protect me. Goodness sakes. At that point, leave. She should have paid those women for the course they gave her. She should pay those women for the course they gave her. At that point, leave. She should have paid those women for the course. You think so? That's so interesting. As Daina said, these relationships had red blankets, not just red flags. Derek was sleeping in different homes most of the time, and Daina threatened to take an overdose. Daina threatened to take an overdose to keep Amit the toxicity, 1000%. If you go through your partner's phone, just end it. And both women did that. Both women went through their partner's phone. Who's this? Who you talking to? Da-da-da. Like we said earlier, if the trust is not there, what are we doing? What are we doing? Real talk, I think Daina was obsessed with this man. Her studying these women sounds like digital stalking to me. I'm glad she's getting help. It could have been really dangerous. I think it was stuff that was on his phone. So it wasn't like she was going out and seeking these videos. It was like, I know of these women. Obviously, I need to get my game up. If that's what you like, what do you like? I'll do that. I will do what you like if that's going to make you stay, sweetie. That's not going to make you stay. Oh, Els, you just got here. We're going to be here for about like 8 more minutes. But you didn't really miss much. We're just talking about things that everybody's been talking about and just putting our own 2 cents in the piggy bank. Had the mindset, if I could do that even better, only for him to stray even more. Dude been said mentally, deuces. Yeah. And honestly, even if you have that mentality of like, well, if I'll just be better, he'll stay. Like, no. We can improve as people. Yeah. But to now compromise who you are fundamentally to keep this person who's already proven time and time again, this is not where he wants to be. That's your cue. That's your cue to exit stage left. Did y'all see the financial issue Darius has? Yeah. Allegedly, he owes a heap of thousands of dollars to the IRS. A lot of debt to Amex. Allegedly. And all the assets that he's saying that he owns, yep, he don't own. The condo, he don't own. And the cars, yep, rented, leased. They got car notes on them. They're not fully owned. Yeah. Daina finally left, but Daina didn't leave. Girl was left and she had... Well, did Daina leave? Because the person who filed in Daina's situation was also the husband. Amit also filed. Derek filed. Amit filed. Damn, ladies, man. One of y'all couldn't... Damn it, man. Amit did file. Well, the way I'm hearing it, unless I heard wrong. Daina just filed last week. It might be a counterfile, but initially Amit filed first. And that's why in her whole argument, she was like, I'm not giving you my address so you can send the divorce papers over to whatever. And she also didn't want to file because then she would have taken the brunt end of the financial responsibility for the divorce or something like that. But I feel like, I don't know. Am I surprised Derek allegedly owes money? Nope. If a man can't control his peen, I wouldn't be surprised he can't control his spending. He's undisciplined all the way around. Mercy. I feel scared for Danae's daughters one day hearing how her mother felt disconnected from her because she looked like that man's mistresses. Yeah, that one was a heart pang to me too. I think Danae was 51. I don't know what that means. She said terms like involuntary therapy or forced counseling. Or are you talking about Daina? I don't think she is fully healed yet. I think Daina wanted Amit to file because of the cost. She was tired of paying for things, lol. But he didn't go through with it after she said to give the address. Okay. Imagine you cheat on me and then you want to file? The gumption. Diana proposed. Did I miss that part? Diana proposed to him just for him to file? Child, I missed that part. I missed that part. 5150 is a court order for involuntary commitment to a mental institution for evaluation. Oh, you'll learn something new every day. Okay. He said he wanted to, but Daina didn't get no documents. Okay, yeah. Usually the person who files does front more of the cost. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So, yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. It's about to rain, so I got to go and, handle the situation with my car. It's been leaking. I got in a car accident like 2 years ago, and the mechanic, turns out, didn't fix my car correctly. And the other mechanic who fixed my car on Wednesday told me about the 2-year-old mechanic doing it wrong. So, yeah, I've got my own financial strife, okay? You and me, Derek, we in the same boat, sweetie. It's hard to judge these situations when you've never been in anything similar. You can react a lot differently than you expect. Trust. 1000%. That's why I said it's hard to put myself in that situation, because if I got into these relationships, especially at the time that these women got into, who's to say it would have ended any different from me? Who's to say? Yep. That one. Yes. Mrs. Jackson is who I meant. Those names are, I know they're so, isn't it crazy? The names are so similar. The stories are so similar. I've been following them both. It just so intrigued me. Yeah, I really want these women to be free. Do you think the name was already oh, and just use this as an excuse because all of the women were dark skinned. That is a theory. That's a theory. I also did notice that all the women were not, especially the women that Tasha K was exposing. I was like, they ain't dark and they're lighter than Daina. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, guys, interesting stories. I will be keeping an eye. I won't be doing like frequent updates on the stories because, listen, we don't even know really what's going on behind the scenes. We just take the words of the people who have the loudest voice and run with it. So yeah, yep, we're still having the watch party. That is still going on. It's over on Discord if y'all want to hang out with us on Discord if you're not on Discord. Daina isn't even as light the way she talks. Listen, I don't know. All I know is she said that thing and she said it on the internet and her daughter's going to see it one day. And I'm like, that is some next level broken for you to feel like, yeah, I carried this child, but it's almost as if his mistresses made the child just because of their skin color. Somebody else has got to dissect that one, child, because it can't be me. Am I active on TikTok? I mean, define active. I use it. I post here and then, but active, that might be a stretch. I'll be a little bit more active when Love Island comes back, and I know I need to diversify, so I should be active in about a few weeks. So that'll be the answer to your question. Anyways, it was nice hanging out with you guys. A quick little live. Is an hour quick? Maybe an hour is not quick, but a quick little live with y'all. I want to promise more lives, but y'all know me. It's a great idea until it's time to, actually do it. So I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all, okay? Grateful every day that I don't have to deal with these men's shenanigans. I'm with you, Maya. People seem to think what they do and say doesn't affect their kids. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, this was fun. It was nice hanging out with you guys. Maybe we'll do a little bit more like hot topic conversations. Maybe like on Fridays. Tentative. If you guys want me to talk about certain like stories, just let me know. I can keep an eye out as well. But yeah, that is all. Have a good weekend, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's a lot I would do though, so maybe